Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. I'm so Ray. As you know, my videos are about love, infinity, creation, energy, because we're infinite love, infinite energy, infinite creation. This is exactly who we are with the human race. We're infinite eternal creators, we're co-creators of infinite eternities. Love is the highest energy of creation, and love is the key that unlocks our infinite DNA structure. We're the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth, with the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the leaders of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the defenders of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the human race, a benevolent species, a loving species, a heart-based species, a love-based species, a heartful species. We live to love and we love to live. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. Meaningful lives, purposeful lives. The pursuit of happiness, happy lives, meaningful lives. Our destiny is to find ourselves who we are, compass and sandals, infinite eternal creators. These virtuous cycles of infinity come as a result of compass and sandals coming together into infinity. Because we're the central race, we're the epicenter of the universe. This is who we are. We're located at the very heart of the universe. And the human heart is the highest energy of creation. This is who we are with the human race. We're identity and true self. We're purpose. We're time and energy. We're action. We're why, how, we're flow, we're true north and destination. So this video is a beautiful video. I'm going to read our constitution to us, the Republic of Planet Earth Constitution. Okay, so I'm going to start now. Hello world. 21st century, human liberation on Earth. The infinite millennia of infinite freedoms began on Earth on the 26th of May 2023. Preambles enshrined in the Republic of Planet Earth's Constitution. The Republic of Planet Earth, our nation, is constituted by the infinite free will of our citizens. The Republic of Planet Earth, our nation, and all of our citizens are free, sovereign, and independent. The Republic of Planet Earth and all of our nation's powers, authorities, are us, the citizens. Each citizen of the Republic of Planet Earth, our nation, is self-sovereign. We stand free, united, and equal as the Republic of Planet Earth, one nation, on Earth, and outside Earth's orbit. We live in the free, sovereign, and independent Republic of Planet Earth, on Earth and outside Earth orbit. We, the citizens, are the powers and authorities of the Republic of Planet Earth, on Earth and outside Earth's orbit forever, infinitely. The citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth declare Earth and outside Earth orbit neutrality towards all states and peoples. All powers and authorities are the infinite love of all our citizens at once, simultaneously, forever, infinitely. The citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth are at once, simultaneously, heads of state and commanders-in-chief, forever, infinitely. The citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth own the state and government of the Republic of Planet Earth, forever, infinitely. The citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth come together to form a democratically elected government that exercises administrative functions of the state, representing our nation's domestic and foreign affairs and interests. The purpose of our government and elected officials is to safeguard, uphold, protect, defend, strengthen, and promote the freedoms, liberties, and rights of the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth, our nation, permanent residents, and certain eligible visa holders. Our infinite freedoms, liberties, and rights. Infinite free will. True self-freedoms. Our freedoms to forge our own paths, make our own decisions, take actions, choose our own identities, purposes, destinations in all matters of existence, forever, infinitely. Infinite freedoms. Our freedoms are infinite, endless, limitless, boundless, and eternal. We understand that new forms of freedoms emerge. We claim them all freedoms forever, infinitely. Infinite energy freedoms. Our citizens have infinite energy sovereignty and independence. 0 point and over unity systems, propulsion, gravity mastery, and all new technologies belong to the citizenry, including patents, the like, and all freedoms to current and future discoveries. Time freedoms. Identity freedoms. Purpose freedoms. Action freedoms. Truth freedoms, speech freedoms. Our minds and words are spoken freely forever, infinitely. Press freedoms. Our mediums, media, and the like are free forever, infinitely. Expression freedoms. Our lives and actions are expressed freely, forever, infinitely. Movement freedoms. Our destinations are ours forever, infinitely. Assembly freedoms. Our union is eternal, forever, infinitely. Worship freedoms. Our beliefs, values, principles, morals, ethics, wisdoms, etc., and so on are sacred, forever, infinitely. Political freedoms. We are free to stand for office and elect others to office. Infinite veto powers freedoms, petitions, referendums, etc., forever, infinitely. Economic freedoms. We're prosperous, abundant, and free from debt, forever, infinitely. Defense and self-defense freedoms. We defend ourselves from those wishing us harm, forever, infinitely. Legal freedoms. We honor due process of law, forever, infinitely. Human freedoms, education freedoms, housing and accommodation freedoms, technological freedoms, full health freedoms, cultural freedoms, environmental and natural resources freedoms, global trade freedoms, institutional freedoms, heritage and legacy freedoms, intellectual property freedoms, quality assurance freedoms, food freedoms, medical freedoms, full body freedoms, physical and non-physical properties freedoms, transparency, accountability, privacy, full visibility, and full disclosure freedoms. The issue of currency freedoms. Our citizenry can issue currency to cover all standard expenses of living required to warrant and guarantee all our infinite freedoms. Citizens act within reason, apply common sense, and adhere to non-inflationary best practices to ensure economic freedoms and financial freedoms forever, infinitely. Financial freedoms. Lands and territories freedoms. Our citizenry owns all the lands, territories, and uncharted and unclaimed discoveries of, by, and for the Republic of Planet Earth, that is to say, freehold, forever, infinitely. Private property freedoms, electoral freedoms, infinite veto powers freedoms. Any citizen can present evidence and reasons within any constituency of the levels of governance and exercise infinite veto powers freedoms. As a result, public hearings immediately start and discovery processes commence to gather all evidence, facts, reasons, etc., and so on. Voting freedoms, standing for office freedoms, destination freedoms, pace and vacuum freedoms, flow freedoms, true north freedoms, compass freedoms, fantasies and illusions freedoms, why how freedoms, here and now freedoms, singularity freedoms, outside Earth's orbit trade freedoms, infinite consent freedoms, infinite eternities freedoms, sundial freedoms, consciousness and self-awareness freedoms, pillars. Elections. All political parties are obsolete. Local, judicial, and central elections take place as usual. Candidates for elected offices are citizenry constituency candidates standing on their own self-sovereignty, representing their own chosen citizenry constituency. No party votes, just direct votes for each citizenry constituency candidate standing for office. Each eligible citizen casts their vote based on their electorate constituency and or type of vote applicable to central, local, and judicial branch elections. Each vote, regardless of the election type, is a direct vote by each constituent. All votes are worth the same. One citizen equals one vote. One vote per person for each election cycle. Votes are secret, universal, and equal. In cases of coercion, etc., and so on, legal freedoms apply. Governments cannot be formed based on coalitions, cartels, factions, united fronts, etc. Government consists of all elected officials regardless of their policy and or political views. There is no such a thing as a majority or minority governments, including any of their expressions. Government is not a dichotomy of opposition versus governing party. Elected central legislative officials work together until consensus is reached by a 90% supermajority vote, with the infinite veto powers freedoms apply. Elected central seat legislative citizenry constituency candidates are randomly allocated to fill positions throughout and across jurisdictions of central governance, meaning one citizenry constituency equals one jurisdiction. Elected central seat legislative citizenry constituency officials positions rotate every year. Electoral Elected central seat legislative citizenry constituency officials randomly rotate positions 3 times during each term. Governance is not based on quorum. Instead, it is based on all elected officials coming together. Elected officials cast votes themselves and are present during the plenary sessions, no proxy votes allowed, etc. All elected officials take place in the management of the state and government level office accordingly. Elected central, local, and judicial branch officials distribute the office among all elected candidates for each constituency based on their representative position. Executive officials are randomly chosen for cabinet roles from the pool of elected central seat legislative officials and are rotated annually. Infinite veto powers freedom supply. Having said this, all elected central seat legislative officials are trained in cabinet roles by the executive office to ensure excellent standards. Infinite veto powers freedom supply. Once an elected central seat legislative official is chosen for cabinet roles, the same elected candidate cannot hold cabinet positions again for current or any future terms. There is only 5 departments within the executive branch: Department of State or Foreign Office, Department of Justice, Treasury, Department of Defense and Self-Defense, and Heritage and Legacy Office. Thus, there are 5 secretaries forming the executive office cabinet. Infinite veto powers freedom supply. Armed Forces Stakeholders Clause. No citizen with such a status can stand for elected office unless they have been retired and or released from military service and gained a veteran status for at least 10 consecutive years. This includes reservists, volunteers, conflict of interest, etc. All other existing former departments are obsolete. All the remaining agencies required for the administration of the state are downsized by at least 80% and attached respectively to the 5 executive departments. For example, tax office is attached to the Treasury. Formerly known as the Department of Domestic Affairs, functions are distributed across the 5 departments based on specific needs and requirements. The obsolescence process applies accordingly to all other former departments and agencies. In case of the need for any former entity, department, and agency to remain given their heritage, legacy, and relevance, for example, health, education, etc., such functions are distributed across the 3 levels of governance in the current system based on requirements, respectively. The citizens declare that the Obsolescence and Transition Oversight Committee is formed, consisting of 20% of elected citizenry constituency candidates from central seat legislative branch randomly chosen and equal in status to ensure a smooth transition to our constitutional order and restore the functions of these obsolete former departments, agencies, and entities back to the citizenry. Transition into obsolescence directive applicable to any former entity, department, and agency are completed within 24 months of the founding of the Republic of Planet Earth. Having said this, the Obsolescence and Transition Oversight Committee remains to phase out all future obsolete functions and matters of law. Central, local, and judicial branch officials are elected by constituency, i.e., citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. In case of ties for any elected official position, subsequent rounds take place until a tie is broken and a clear winner is declared. Referendums and or petitions of any matter of law, including central, local, judicial branches, are called upon by citizenry directly when 10% of any citizenry constituency petitions accordingly. Infinite veto powers freedom supply. Then a yes or no direct vote election date is chosen within 30 days, applicable to all citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. Infinite veto powers freedom supply. Removal of elected officials is called upon the citizenry directly when 10% of any constituency petitions accordingly. Infinite veto powers freedom supply. Then a yes or no direct vote election date is chosen within 30 days, applicable to all citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. Infinite veto powers freedom supply. Removed officials undergo due process of law in public court cases regarding breaches, offenses, crimes, and abuse of office, etc. Taxation. as of the 17th of October 2023. Individual income tax $0 to $30,003, 0% rate. $30,004 to $100,000, 10% rate. $100,001 to $200,001, 12.5% rate. $200,002, 15% plus, onwards, moving forward after that amount, 15% rate. Goods and services tax, 5% rate. Tax-free exceptions apply to certain goods and services for a period of up to 24 months, based on approval by Central Seat Legislative Branch after the 90% supermajority vote threshold is met. Then 5% rate applies to such goods and services. Infinite veto powers freedoms apply. Corporations, other entities including listed and or unlisted, etc. Individual income tax applies. Not-for-profits, foundations, social enterprises, religious institutions, etc. Individual income tax applies. All other taxes are obsolete, i.e. capital gains, inheritance, duty stamps, customs, etc. and so on, no exceptions. They're all obsolete. Allocation of taxes. Each tax number holder has the freedoms to allocate contributions accordingly, thus distributing contributions across chosen government spending and investment buckets. As per budgetary best practices, there are minimum quotas required for specific buckets and ceilings. Tax number holders have access to an app where they allocate when, where, how, what, and why contributions are allocated for expenditure. For example, as a tax number holder can allocate 50% of contributions to be spent and invested in education, including comprehensive breakdowns for each category. For example, of that 50%, 20% goes to primary schools in their electorate area, 10% goes to funding a university of their choice, and 30% goes to high schools. The tax number holders allocate specific contributions amounts to buckets of their choice. For example, $50 to new books, to buy new biology books, etc. and so on. These freedoms and obligations are bound by law for each tax number holder. Once minimum quotas and ceilings are reached, tax number holders allocate remaining funds to the other areas of their own choosing and interest. The tax office of the Treasury have no say on who, what, when, why, where, and how funds are allocated by contributors. Quotas and ceilings are chosen by elected representatives in accordance with budgetary rules and Treasury guidance. Budgetary rules. Government cannot propose, accept, or run budgetary deficits unless the Central Seat Legislative Body approves it with a 90% supermajority vote due to justifiable cause, emergency, security, etc. Such periods cannot exceed 24 months within 10 years and cannot overlap with consecutive fiscal years. During such periods, annual fiscal deficits cannot exceed 2.5% of taxation revenue for each fiscal year. Government presents annual budget based on the allocations of each contributor. Buckets and ceilings are guided and established based on allocated contributions by Annual Budget Oversight Committee. The Annual Budget Oversight Committee is formed consisting of 20% of elected citizenry constituency candidates from Central Seat Legislative Branch, randomly chosen and equal in status to ensure appropriate allocation, distribution, administration, and management of funds. The Treasury assists the Budget Oversight Committee in the process. A preliminary annual budget is presented to the Central Seat Legislative Branch at least 60 days prior to the beginning of the new fiscal year. Budget is presented by government and approved by Central Seat Legislative Branch 30 days prior to the beginning of the new fiscal year. Budget approval requires a 90% supermajority vote. Subsequent rounds of voting are completed in case of insufficient votes. The voting process takes place within the 30-day window starting 60 days prior to the beginning of the new fiscal year until the days prior to the beginning of the new fiscal year is reached. Government achieves an annual fiscal surplus above 5%, of which a third is directed toward paying down government debt, if any whatsoever, a third deposited into the Earth Sovereign Wealth Fund, and a third reinvested in key future-proofing public projects, plans, etc. Government debt cannot exceed 20% of gross domestic product ratio ceiling. Government fund debt, if any whatsoever, with bonds issued by the citizenry. The Debt Transparency Oversight Committee is formed, consisting of 20% of elected citizenry constituency candidates from central legislative branch, randomly chosen and equal in status, to oversee, reduce, and clear government debt. This is a transparent process, and all debt acquired by the government is in accordance with financial guidelines within our own sovereign legal framework. The public and citizenry know all the information pertaining potential lenders and all terms being discussed in advance at least 90 days prior to any letter of understanding being signed. Infinite veto power supply. Infinite veto powers freedom supply. In case of usury, corruption, unreasonable terms, etc., legal freedom supply. The citizenry grants a license to the Treasury in trust to be issued in extraordinary circumstances only. The signing of any terms requires a 90% supermajority vote by the central seat legislative body after the public and citizenry consultation review hearings. Infinite veto power freedom supply. The Treasury can issue bonds at local, judicial, and central government levels to 20% of gross domestic product ratio ceiling. The Treasury has a license to issue currency granted by the citizenry. This license cannot be repurposed, released, relicensed, and/or forfeited to any third parties, whether private, public, foreign, and/or domestic, under any circumstances whatsoever. The freedoms to issue currency are of the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth, and the Treasury exercises this license in trust only. Central banks are obsolete. Defense and self-defense freedom supply. The role of the Treasury is that of financial stability, with a legal obligation to keep inflation at 0%. The annual target for annual deflation is between 0.5% and 5%, meaning the Republic of Planet Earth's currency purchasing power increases every year accordingly, forever, infinitely. The Treasury manages Earth Sovereign Wealth Fund within our own financial system. The Earth Sovereign Wealth Fund is fiscally conservative and highly diversified. At least 5 to 10% of Earth's sovereign wealth fund is held in precious metals and or alternative assets such as gemstones, fine art, and the like, with no less than 5% held in gold and diamonds, all stored in the Republic of Planet Earth's vaults on Earth and outside Earth orbit. The Treasury contributes between 5% and 10% of total taxation revenue, excluding any surpluses toward the Earth Sovereign Wealth Fund every fiscal year. The Treasury contributes between 2% and 5% of total taxation revenue, excluding any surpluses toward paying down government debt, if any whatsoever, every fiscal year. After all quotas and ceilings are met as per annual budget, any floating funds, unallocated funds, and surpluses are deposited into the Earth Sovereign Wealth Fund within 30 days of the beginning of the new fiscal period. Earth Sovereign Wealth Fund monies and or assets cannot be withdrawn, liquidated, spent, or repurposed by any means unless the central seat legislative body approves it with a 90% supermajority vote. And only up to 10% of the Earth Sovereign Wealth Fund can be withdrawn within a period of 48 months, with no more than 2.5% exercised within any given fiscal year. For the Treasury to solicit a withdrawal approval, a minimum threshold is met due to justifiable cause, emergency, security, etc. All government expenditure is highly scrutinized and stored in a distributed ledger where all tax number holders and contributors can access within their app. All user hashes and timestamps for each transaction are publicly available to contributors. Transparency, accountability, privacy, full visibility, and full disclosure freedom supply. Infinite veto powers freedom supply. defense and self-defense freedoms apply. Economic freedoms, financial freedoms, and the issue of currency freedoms apply. Banking, all interest rates, deposits, mortgages, financial banking, fractional banking, funds, protection, guarantees, etc. The only institution with a license to issue currency on behalf of the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth, banks, private and or public, foreign and or domestic, have no license to issue currency in any way, shape, or form within the Republic of Planet Earth, land, territorial jurisdictions, and constitutional framework. All bank funds required for their proper functioning are lent and borrowed from the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth and in some cases by the Treasury. All banks are funded with lending terms by buying purposeful citizenry constituency bonds for up to 10-year terms, issued by citizenry constituency, the citizens, at 10 to 10% interest rate. At 5 to 10% interest rate. The Treasury is owned by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. The issue of currency freedoms, liberties, and rights are of the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. The citizenry possess infinite freedoms, liberties, rights, powers, authorities, etc., and so on, and the like regarding the issue of currency freedoms. All funds lent and borrowed, and interest and fees paid are executed through citizenry bonds. The citizenry are the creditors and beneficiaries of all terms forever, infinitely. Economic freedoms, financial freedoms, and the issue of currency freedoms apply. Lands and territories. All lands and territories are owned by the citizenry. Global trade freedoms and outside Earth orbit trade freedoms apply. Department and defense and self-defense. Preamble. Above anything else, the purpose of the Department of Defense and Self-Defense is to serve, safeguard, protect, uphold, and defend our infinite freedoms, the Republic of Planet Earth, our citizenry, and our constitutional framework on Earth and outside Earth orbit forever, infinitely. Our citizenry and the Republic of Planet Earth have infinite freedoms to defend against those wishing us harm, forever, infinitely. Our citizens are all heads of state and commanders-in-chief at once, simultaneously, forever, infinitely. We do not live in a state of war and or declare war to any state, species, people, sentient beings, etc., and so on, regardless of their biological and or both synthetic nature and or their dimensional existence, including their level of intelligence, consciousness, and self-awareness status. The Department of Defense and Self-Defense is owned by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. Infinite veto powers freedoms apply. Local, judicial, and central governance. The local, judicial, and central governments are the same. Thus, government means local, central, legislative, and executive office and judicial governance levels. The Treasury funds all government lending terms on behalf of the owners, creditors, and beneficiaries of all purposeful citizenry constituency bonds, the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. The government funds lending terms by buying purposeful citizenry constituency bonds for up to 25-year terms, issued by the citizenry constituency, the citizens, at 0 to 5% interest rates. Government pays individual income tax on all funding. The government, that is to say local, central legislative, and executive office, and judicial branches pay individual income tax on all funding. The government is owned by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. Defense and self-defense freedoms apply. Local government role reduced by at least 80%, that is to say all councils and the like. Rates, levies, fees, etc., and so on and the like are obsolete. The Treasury funds the local government with lending terms based on tax contributions and allocations. The government funds lending terms by buying purposeful citizenry constituency bonds for up to 25-year terms issued by the citizenry constituency, the citizens at 0 to 5% interest rate. The government pays individual income tax on all funding. Local government services which do not contribute net positive outcomes for the citizenry are phased out within 180 days. Local, judicial, and central elections, citizenry, candidacy campaigns, electorates, and constituency. The government cannot fund campaigns. Each citizenry candidate fund campaigns with donations from eligible citizenry constituencies, no self-funding, donation limit per person, or citizenry in this case, citizens, of $10,000. Entities, vehicles, etc., and so on and the like cannot make donations. Legal freedom supply. Only humans accountable within the Republic of Planet Earth, that is to say the citizens, permanent residents, and certain eligible visa holders can donate. There is no limit as to the number of citizenry candidates that can register to run for a constituency. Let me repeat this one more time. Donation limit per person of $10,000. That applies to everyone. Accountable, all humans accountable within the system. Citizenry candidates are citizens, no exceptions. Electoral Transparency and Oversight Committee is formed, consisting of 20% of elected citizenry constituency candidates from central legislative branch, randomly chosen and equal in status to warrant free elections based on transparency, end-to-end ballot, counting visibility, accountability, etc., and so on, infinite veto powers, freedom supply. The citizenry and the public are free to form watches and have custody of the votes until the end of each election cycle. Election dates, term lengths, and period remain the same. The free press, whether public or private, foreign and or domestic, adheres to electoral freedoms. The citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth have electoral freedoms warranting impartiality, unbiased mediums and media, thus equally distributing the voices of all citizenry constituency candidates across all their distribution networks, channels, and spaces, no exceptions. Electoral freedom supply. During local, central, and judicial electoral cycles, the free press warrants and guarantees equally distributed space, cover throughout the whole end-to-end electoral cycle to all citizenry constituency candidates. The citizenry constituency candidates form any number of debates, conversations, events, etc., and so on and the like across constituencies. The free press mediums and media is present and covers all debates. A citizenry constituency candidate cannot run for multiple constituencies simultaneously. The number of seats of all government levels are equally distributed, not proportional, in terms of electoral populations, also accounting for population growth. For example, the electoral constituency ratio to representation needs to be within a per capita band range, warranting and guaranteeing equal representation across all citizenry constituencies of the Republic of Planet Earth. Citizenry constituency representation ratio for each citizenry constituency candidacy. Central legislative branch equals 1 citizenry constituency candidate for every 20,000 citizenry constituents. Judicial seat branch, 2 citizenry constituency candidate for every 20,000 citizenry constituents. Local seat branch equals 1 citizenry constituency candidate for every 5,000 citizenry constituents. Electoral freedoms apply. Buildings of government are owned by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. Security, transparency, accountability, privacy, full visibility, and full disclosure freedoms apply. The citizenry. The citizenry are the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth. Citizens have freedoms to lend and borrow funds to other permanent residents, and certain eligible visa holders. Citizens are de facto banks. Economic freedoms, financial freedoms, and the issue of currency freedoms apply. In case of usury terms, etc., and so on, legal freedoms apply. The state and government have no freedoms, liberties, and/or rights. The citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth have all freedoms, liberties, and rights. The state and government are owned by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. The Department of Justice, judicial branch, and the legal system. Preamble. The Department of Justice is owned by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. Above anything else, the purpose of the Department of Justice is to warrant and guarantee legal freedoms and all infinite freedoms forever, infinitely. Infinite veto powers freedoms apply. Freedoms and contract law. Freedoms cannot be negotiated away. Any way, shape, or form of agreement and/or contract under any jurisdiction on Earth, abroad, and outside Earth's orbit, implying such anti-freedom deeds, directly, indirectly, covertly, overtly, aware, unaware, conscious, unconscious, etc., and so on, are hereby declared null and void by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth forever, infinitely. Defense and self-defense freedoms apply. The Department of Defense and Self-Defense and the Department of State or Foreign Office are owned by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. infinite veto powers, freedom supply. Rights of corporations, trusts, institutions, non-governmental organizations, foundations, social enterprises, sole traders, intergovernmental and international treaties, and governments, entities, etc. No exceptions. They have no freedoms, liberties, and/or rights. The citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth have all freedoms, liberties, and rights. Benefits, stipends, pensions, superannuations, etc. and so on and the like are obsolete. Economic freedoms, financial freedoms, and the issue of currency freedoms apply. Department of State or Foreign Office. Preamble. Above anything else, the purpose of the Department of State or Foreign Office is to warrant and guarantee the freedoms, liberties, and rights of the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth abroad and outside Earth orbit, forever, infinitely. Any binding treaties and/or agreements hindering, prohibiting, depriving, and/or stopping our citizenry and the Republic of Planet Earth from having infinite freedoms, liberties, and rights on Earth, abroad, and outside Earth's orbit are withdrawn here and now by the citizenry and the Republic of Planet Earth to warrant and guarantee all our infinite freedoms and constitutional framework. This includes all states and entities, including United Nations, Red Cross, intergovernmental and international treaties and agreements, etc. and so on and the like, including the Holy See, no exceptions, forever, infinitely. The Department of State or Foreign Office acts as the official representative of the Republic of Planet Earth on behalf of our citizenry regarding other nations, people, states, etc. and so on and the like. The Department of State or Foreign Office is owned by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. Infinite veto powers, freedom supply. Treasury. Preamble. Above anything else, the purpose of the Treasury is to warrant and guarantee economic freedoms, the issue of currency freedoms, and financial freedoms of, by, and for our citizenry and the Republic of Planet Earth forever, infinitely. The Treasury is owned by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. Infinite veto powers, freedom supply. Heritage and Legacy Office. Preamble. The heritage and legacy of all peoples, lands, and territories of the Republic of Planet Earth are preserved and honored forever, infinitely. The Heritage and Legacy Office is owned by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. Infinite veto powers, freedom supply. Heritage and Legacy, freedom supply. Space exploration, interstellar travel, intergalactic directive, and new technologies. The citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth here and now withdraw from all binding treaties hindering, prohibiting, depriving, and/or stopping the Republic of Planet Earth, our citizenry, and our nation from warranting and guaranteeing our infinite freedoms, rights, and liberties and constitutional framework on Earth, abroad, and outside Earth's orbit. This includes all states and entities, including United Nations, Red Cross, intergovernmental and international treaties and agreements, etc. and so on and the like, including the Holy See, no exceptions, forever, infinitely. The Republic of Planet Earth declares neutrality towards all extraterrestrial states, species, peoples, sentient beings, etc. and so on, regardless of their biological and/or both synthetic nature and/or their dimensional existence, including their level of intelligence, consciousness, and self-awareness status. All discoveries of uncharted and unclaimed systems, sectors, squadrons, planets, and territories, etc., automatically become part of the Republic of Planet Earth, and our citizens' freedoms, rights, and liberties are binding forever, infinitely. Uncharted and unclaimed means that such systems, sectors, squadrons, planets, and territories, etc., do not currently possess any way, shape, or form of extraterrestrial states, people, sentient species, beings, etc., and so on, regardless of their biological and both synthetic nature and/or their dimensional existence, including their level of intelligence, consciousness, and self-awareness status. Executive Office. Preamble. Executive Office refers to the 5 departments of the executive branch: Department of Defense and Self-Defense, Department of Justice, Department of State or Foreign Office, Treasury, and Heritage and Legacy Office. Once a year, 5 elected officials equal in status are randomly chosen from the central legislative branch to become secretaries of the executive cabinet. The cabinet rotates every year. The executive office trains them so the executive branch exercises excellent standard of care, delivering results and representing the Republic of Planet Earth on behalf of the citizenry. Having said these, all elected central seat legislative officials are trained in cabinet roles by the executive office to ensure excellent standards, infinite veto powers, freedom supply. Once an elected central seat legislative official is chosen for cabinet roles, The same elected candidate cannot hold cabinet positions again for current or any future terms. If required and or necessary, secretaries of the executive cabinet can be substituted by any elected central seat legislative official. Substitute secretaries of executive cabinet are randomly chosen from the pool of all elected central seat legislative officials and are rotated annually. The executive office is owned by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. Infinite veto powers freedom supply. Citizenry, lands and territories freehold. Non-citizens' 10-year leasehold declaration includes government, states, sole traders, individuals, listed and or unlisted companies, foreign and or domestic, trusts, see-throughs, entities, foundations, religious institutions, social enterprises, charities, etc. and so on and the like forever infinitely. Non-citizens cannot own land and or territories including infrastructure, facilities, premises, buildings, grids, etc. and so on and the like. They only have leasehold rights for up to 10 years if eligible. Foreign Direct Investment Transparency Oversight Committee is formed, consisting of 20% of elected citizenry constituency candidates from Central Seat Legislative Branch, randomly chosen and equal in status to warrant lands and territories freedoms. Infinite veto powers freedom supply. Non-citizens cannot own shares of any legal construct or entity, no exceptions. Non-citizens cannot hold executive or non-executive office of such deeds nor exercise any rights on their behalf, including signing rights and all other rights, forever infinitely. Proxies are obsolete. Defense and self-defense freedoms apply. Judicial branch. Equal number of elected judges and superintendents. Juries pass down sentences, verdicts, directions, and decisions, not judges. Judges simply oversee, guide, and lead procedures and cases to warrant due process. Juries consist of citizenry constituents between 10, 20, and 40 citizens randomly chosen from each constituency and equal in status. The numbers of jurors chosen for cases are based on the court level, meaning there are 3 levels of appeal in the court system. Low court level case equals 10 jurors, jurisdiction of 1 citizenry constituency. Middle court level case equals 20 jurors, jurisdiction of 2 citizenry constituencies, 10 jurors from each jurisdiction constituency. High court level case equals 40 jurors, 4 jurisdictions of 4 citizenry constituencies, 10 jurors from each jurisdiction constituency. New jurors, judges, and superintendents equal in status are randomly chosen for each level of appeal. Jurisdiction constituencies, jurors, judges, and superintendents cannot hear the same case once. Can only hear the same case once. Let me repeat that. Jurisdiction constituency jurors, judges, and superintendents can only hear the same case once. Any cases and matters of law can be heard at any jurisdiction constituency regardless of the citizen's place of residence. Juries pass down sentences, verdicts, directions, and decisions based on a 90% supermajority consensus. Deliberations and open debates where all jurors participate continue on until the minimum threshold of 90% is reached. The citizens of the jury can come to a final decision independently. No outside assistance, feedback, support, etc. No outside jury influence nor coercion is accepted. Having said this, after a decision is reached, the citizenry and the public are notified. Infinite veto powers freedom supplies. Then the jury reassesses final decision based on new findings gained as a result of discovery hearings. Then deliberations and open debates where all jurors participate continue on until the minimum threshold of 90% is reached. Having said this, infinite veto powers freedom supply. Hearings, conferences, and sessions continue until juries reach minimum consensus threshold. Judges and superintendents are randomly allocated to fill positions throughout and across jurisdictions of the system of courts, meaning 1 citizenry constituency equal 1 jurisdiction. Judges and superintendents' positions rotate every year. Judges and superintendents randomly rotate positions 3 times during each term. Judges and superintendents can only hold the same position once in the same term and any future terms. Superintendents are the elected officials of a constituency police force. Superintendents enforce jury's decisions and lead a constituency police force. Transparency, accountability, privacy, full visibility, and full disclosure freedoms apply. Defense and self-defense freedoms apply. Infinite veto powers freedoms apply. Legal system offenses. In case of being charged with offenses, citizenry keep infinite freedoms, liberties, and rights. Instead, in cases of serious offenses, offending citizens, permanent residents, and visa holders have limited freedoms during the length of the sentence based on the offense or offenses charged by juries after all appealing options are accounted for in order to ensure and warrant infinite freedoms. Citizens always keep voting freedoms. However, serious offenders cannot stand for office at any government level during the sentence period, including a stand-down period of 10 years after completion of sentence, including pardons, etc. Recurrent offenders need to wait for 10 years after the completion of the last offense in order to have standing for office freedoms. Non-serious offenders, excluding minor offenders, cannot stand for office during the sentence period, including a stand-down period of 3 years after completion of sentence. Minor offenders cannot stand for office during the sentence period. Any sentenced offender under imprisonment during any election cycle has the freedoms to choose which electors they vote for based on any residential address they have lived in for at least 90 consecutive days in the last 10 years before imprisonment. Electoral constituencies enrollment. Citizenry enrollment in electoral constituencies at any of the 3 levels of governance. Citizenry constituency candidates enroll for electoral constituencies based on any residential address they have lived in for at least 90 consecutive days in the last 3 years. Citizens abroad and outside Earth's orbit electoral constituency enrollment. Citizens enroll for electoral constituency based on any residential addresses they have lived in for at least 90 consecutive days in the last 10 years before their latest departure. In case of citizens who have not lived on Earth, such a constituent enrolls for electoral constituencies based on any residential address they have lived in for at least 90 consecutive days anywhere abroad and or outside Earth's orbit. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, just give me a second. Just give me a second, okay? I'm getting to it again. Okay, so we are here. Voting age, adulthood age, and standing for office age, 18. Age of consent, 16 to 18. Defense and self-defense freedoms apply. Driving air and sea transport age, 16. Driving terrestrial and land transports age, 15. Driving Earth and outside Earth's orbit transports age, 17. Private property freedoms apply. Physical and non-physical properties freedoms apply. Private and government debt. All government debt incurred prior to the founding of the Republic of Planet Earth is hereby, here and now, declared forgiven by all creditors and claimants forever, infinitely. All private debt incurred by our citizenry is hereby, here and now, declared forgiven by all creditors and claimants forever, infinitely. Our citizenry and the Republic of Planet Earth are immune to any debt claims put forward by anyone or anything forever, infinitely. Non-citizens who have freedoms, liberties, and rights within the Republic of Planet Earth renegotiate all their debts within the Republic of Planet Earth. Thus, all their former debts are hereby, here and now, forgiven forever, infinitely. Economic freedoms, financial freedoms, and the issue of currency freedoms apply. Defense and self-defense freedoms apply. Central seat legislative branch and executive office. Central legislative elections every 3 years. Central seat equals 1 citizenry constituency candidate for every 20,000 citizenry constituents. A limit of 3 terms applies to all citizenry constituency candidates regardless of whether the terms are consecutive or non-consecutive. Judicial branch. Elections every 3 years. Judicial seat equals 2 citizenry constituency candidates, 1 judge and 1 superintendent for 10,000 citizenry constituents. A limit of 3 terms apply to all citizenry constituency candidates regardless of whether the terms are consecutive or non-consecutive. Local branch, elections every 3 years. Local seat equals one citizenry constituency candidate for every 5,000 citizenry constituents. A limit of 3 terms applies to all citizenry constituency candidates, regardless of whether the terms are consecutive or non-consecutive. Electoral cycle calendar. First year, local seat branch. Second year, judicial branch. Third year, central seat legislative branch and executive office. 3 levels of electors based on citizenry constituency ratios. 3 levels, 3 electoral levels of governance. One for every 5,000 citizens, which is a local seat branch. 2 for every 10,000 citizens, which is the judicial branch. And 1 for every 20,000 citizens, which is the central seat branch. Okay, so these are the ratios of the elected officials for each jurisdiction at each level of governance: central, judicial, and local. Infinite veto powers freedom supply. Infinite veto powers and public hearings. The citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth are heads of state and commanders-in-chief at once and simultaneously. Any citizen can present evidence and reasons within any constituency and exercise infinite veto powers freedoms. As a result, public hearings immediately start and discovery processes commence to gather all evidence, facts, reasons, etc. and so on. Then, if required, referendums and petitions can take place when 10% of any constituency requests so. Infinite veto powers freedom supply. Defense and self-defense freedom supply. Joining the Republic of Planet Earth. Preamble. Because of the infinite free will of the citizenry, the Republic of Planet Earth hereby, here and now, grants freedoms, independence, and sovereignty to all peoples and states. Any free, independent, and sovereign peoples, etc., state, and so on, from Earth or outside Earth's orbit can formally request to join the citizenry and the Republic of Planet Earth. Once the process is completed, all former states cease to exist, and such lands and territories form part of the Republic of Planet Earth. The citizenry of such former states are granted all our freedoms, liberties, and rights. Essentially, they are equal in status to all other citizens of the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. Thus, they are citizens, the citizenry. All constitutional frameworks apply. The new lands and territories are part of the jurisdictions of the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth, meaning the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth owns all new lands and territories. Political parties and central banks of the former states are hereby, here and now, obsolete. Citizenry, constituency candidates, and constituencies rules apply for local, central, legislative, and judicial elections. Central seat equals one citizenry constituency candidate for every 20,000 citizenry constituents. Judicial seat equals 2 citizenry constituency candidates, 1 judge and 1 superintendent for every 10,000 citizenry. Local seat equals 1 citizenry constituency candidate for every 5,000 citizenry constituents. The heritage and legacy of all new lands and territories are preserved and honored as part of joining the Republic of Planet Earth. Oath of allegiance to the Republic of Planet Earth. The Republic of Planet Earth, our nation, is constituted by the infinite free will of our citizens. The Republic of Planet Earth, our nation, and all of our citizens are free, sovereign, and independent. The Republic of Planet Earth and all of our nation's powers and authorities are us, the citizens. Each citizen of the Republic of Planet Earth, our nation, is self-sovereign. We stand free, united, and equal as the Republic of Planet Earth, one nation on Earth and outside Earth orbit. We live in the free, sovereign, and independent Republic of Planet Earth, on Earth and outside Earth orbit. We, the citizens, are the powers and authorities of the Republic of Planet Earth, on Earth and outside Earth's orbit, forever, infinitely. The citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth declare Earth and outside Earth orbit neutrality towards all states and people. All powers and authorities are the infinite love of all our citizens at once, simultaneously, forever, infinitely. The citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth are at once simultaneously heads of state and commanders-in-chief, forever, infinitely. The citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth own the state and government of the Republic of Planet Earth forever, infinitely. The citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth come together to form democratically elected government that exercises administrative functions of the state, representing our nation's domestic and foreign affairs and interests. The purpose of our government and elected officials is to safeguard, uphold, protect, defend, strengthen, and promote the freedoms, liberties, and rights of the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth, our nation, permanent residents, and certain eligible visa holders. Our infinite freedoms, liberties, and rights. Infinite free will. True self-freedoms are freedoms to forge our own paths, make our own decisions, take action, choose our own identities, purposes, destination in all matters of existence, forever, infinitely. Infinite freedoms. Our freedoms are infinite, endless, limitless, boundless, and eternal. We understand that new forms of freedom emerge. We claim them all freedoms forever, infinitely. Infinite energy freedoms. Our citizens have infinite energy sovereignty and independence. 0-point and over unity systems propulsions, gravity mastery, and all new technologies belong to the citizenry, including patents, the like, and all freedoms to current and future discoveries. Time freedoms, identity freedoms, purpose freedoms, action freedoms, truth freedoms, speech freedoms. Our minds and words are spoken freely forever, infinitely. Press freedoms, our mediums, media, and the like are free forever, infinitely. Expression freedoms, our lives and actions are expressed freely forever, infinitely. Movement freedoms, our destinations are ours forever, infinitely. Assembly freedoms, our union is eternal forever, infinitely. Worship freedoms, our beliefs, values, principles, morals, ethics, wisdoms, etc., and so on are sacred forever, infinitely. Political freedoms, we are free to stand for office and elect others to office. Infinite veto powers freedoms, petitions, referendums, etc., forever, infinitely. Economic freedoms, we are prosperous, abundant, and free from debt forever, infinitely. Defense and self-defense freedoms, we defend ourselves from those wishing us harm forever, infinitely. Legal freedoms, we honor due process of law forever, infinitely. Human freedoms, education freedoms, housing and accommodation freedoms, technological freedoms, full health freedoms, cultural freedoms, environmental and natural resources freedoms, global trade freedoms, institutional freedoms, heritage and legacy freedoms, intellectual property freedoms, quality assurance freedoms, food freedoms, medical freedoms, full body freedoms, physical and non-physical properties freedoms, transparency, accountability, privacy, full visibility and full disclosure freedoms, the issue of currency freedoms. Our citizenry can issue currency to cover all standard expenses of living required to warrant and guarantee all our infinite freedoms. Citizens act within reason, apply common sense, and adhere to non-inflationary best practices to ensure economic freedoms and financial freedoms forever, infinitely. Financial freedoms, lands and territories freedoms. Our citizenry owns all the lands, territories, and uncharted, unclaimed discoveries of, by, and for the Republic of Planet Earth, that is to say, freehold, forever, infinitely. Private property freedoms, electoral freedoms, infinite veto powers freedoms. Any citizen can present evidence and reasons within any constituency of the levels of governance and exercise infinite veto powers freedoms. As a result, public hearings immediately start and discovery processes commence to gather all evidence, facts, reasons, etc., and so on. Voting freedoms and standing for office freedoms, destination freedoms, space and vacuum freedoms, flow freedoms, true north freedoms, compass freedoms, fantasies and illusions freedoms, White House freedoms, here and now freedoms, singularities freedoms, outside Earth's orbit freedoms, infinite consent freedoms, infinite eternities freedoms, sundial freedoms, consciousness and self-awareness freedoms. Local government, preamble. The purpose of local government is to guarantee the proper functioning of the administrative state at the local level of governance. The local government jurisdictions are based on electorates. Each electorate seat is presided by an elected local citizenry constituency candidate who represents a citizenry constituency of no more than 5,000 citizens. Elected local citizenry constituency candidates are randomly allocated to fill positions throughout and across jurisdiction of local governance, meaning one citizenry constituency equals one jurisdiction. Elected local citizenry constituency officials positions rotate every year. Elected local citizenry constituency officials randomly rotate positions 3 times during each term. Within This jurisdiction, the local government's purpose is to warrant and guarantee all public services to function at the highest standard of excellence possible. Such public services include infrastructure, buildings, funds, grids, etc. and so on. The Heritage and Legacy Office bestows on elected local citizenry constituency candidates the duty of care of all public services within the jurisdiction of their citizenry constituency for the 3-year electoral term. The local government is owned by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. Earth and outside Earth orbit. Preamble. Earth and outside Earth orbit implies foreign affairs and interests of the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. For example, no one can act unilaterally on behalf of the Republic of Planet Earth, regardless of their position, status, etc. and so on, and the like. All freedoms apply. Committees. Elected officials cannot be members of 2 or more committees simultaneously. A limit of 1 committee per electoral term. Committee members rotate every year, no exceptions. Elected officials can only be members of the same committee once, applicable across and throughout the 3-term limit, regardless of whether the terms are consecutive or non-consecutive. All committee members of the 5 committees of the central seat legislative branch and are randomly chosen simultaneously. Committee decisions are reached with a supermajority vote of 90%, a 90% supermajority vote, that is to say. Defense and self-defense freedoms apply. Infinite veto powers freedoms apply. Okay, so this is the Republic of Planet Earth Constitution. Our Constitution. Okay, this is our Constitution. Let me just find a little bit more and a better angle for better lighting. Okay, so this is our Republic. This is our Republic. You see, our Republic. This is who we are. We are the Republic of Planet Earth. This is who we are. We're the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth. We are humanity. This is exactly who we are with the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth, with the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the defenders of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the leaders of the Republic of Planet Earth. We are humanity. We're compass, we're sundial, we're infinite eternal creators, we're co-creators of infinite eternal creations. We're the central species, we're at the epicenter of the cosmos. Our planet comes from the epicenter of the universe. This is our origin story, which I have shared many times with you in the past. Okay, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. Remember, this is our Constitution. All of us, all humans, we're infinite eternal creators. So I'm going to read a few more things and then that will be it. Okay, human DNA, body, organs, glands, we're infinite. Infinite eternal biology, evolution, singularities of all organs and glands, the resonance. We are the energy from the sun. We're consciousness, self-awareness. We love, we're infinite love. Love is a flow of infinity. Love is the highest energy of creation. Love is the highest energy of creation and we're the biological expression of that. We're the highest energy of creation and we are the human heart. Okay. We're sentient, we love, we have emotions and feelings. Love equals evolution. When we love, we evolve. Love is a key that unlocks the human DNA structure, the infinite nature of our DNA, okay? We live to love and we love to live. We're co-creators of infinite eternal creations. Love is infinity. It's a virtuous cycle. And this is our story as a species, it's our origin story. We're the Republic of Planet Earth. Love is life, life and love, they come from the same place, the human heart. Life is creation and creation is energy. Love is the energy of creation. Maturity and humility, this is what we are. Love is energy, love is life. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. We are the Republic of Planet Earth. We are humanity. We're infinite eternal creators. This is who we are. We're infinite eternal creators. We're infinite tetragrammatons. We are the human race. This is who we are. We live to love and we love to live with the highest energy of creation. We create everything with our consciousness and our self-awareness. Everything that exists is created with our consciousness and self-awareness. This is who we are. I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. I'm Soul Ra Ray. I love you all with all my heart, with all my might.